what would be your first top 3 sort of tips to yourself, knowing what you now know?
The first tip would be to make sure that if you are going to take the leap, that people will say, yeah, that'll be great, we'll be able to work with you. Actually put the pen to paper before you take the leap would be the first thing, because that's a bit scary when you go, yep, I'll do it. Hang the shingle out and you go, okay, I'm open for business. Where's my business gone? You said you'd be doing stuff with me, but you're not anymore. So that's not fun. In the same way, you need to make sure that you are preparing for your next project, because if you are putting all your eggs in a couple of baskets and it all finishes, then the lead time into the next project can be massive. So you need to be preparing for your next, but almost as if whatever you got now is about to end tomorrow.
What are some other key pillars you find is really important for a sports scientist working in Australian rules football?
Our key pillars are really just some of our general GPS metrics that you would expect to work with: time, total distance, high speed distance, sprint distance, that sort of thing. Making sure, obviously, that you're concentrating on the things that are tied into performance and that we know are that are reflective of protection against injury. Really, as I've been saying, that it's been around almost democratizing the data and making sure that everybody has access to it in a way that's actually going to help them do their job.
For those new sports scientists, what is commonly the key mistakes in that challenge of simplifying the data or visualizing the data?
I think it's probably reducing the complexity. I think we actually need to accept that these are complex things going on with complex individuals, and that flattening that complexity out is not particularly helpful. So that's probably one thing. And building your tools so that you don't distill it down to too much. You're giving yourself the room to be able to evaluate the whole of the training cycle. And getting back to what I was saying before, there is variability in performance, and you need to be able to assess the whole of the performance, not just snapshots in how you're actually approaching these sort of things.
Yeah, in terms of screening data and force plates and the whole range that most clubs have these days, what would be sort of non-negotiables that you need for a Hub Sports program?
I think we're kind of there with the kind of suite that Vald provides. I would definitely be leaning into the SpeedSig stuff. I am biased because obviously that's where SpeedSig comes from, is where I want to live as well, in that using IMUs to be able to assess the output of a load that's going into an athlete rather than just relying on the input side of it. Lean into the Vald stuff because that's tried and true. It's working really nicely, but try and find other measures which are really looking at the outcome of what you're doing from a load perspective.
You mentioned SpeedSig earlier, so it sounds like that's something you're using at the Crows. For those that haven't used it, what is it and how does it help you in your role and the performance sort of medical staff?
So it's taken the catapult units and uses most of the other major GPS units as well. So Jason Weber is the person who has developed that, and he's looked at using the accelerometers in particular in part of the IMU suite that goes along with every GPS unit, putting that on your sacrum or your lumbar spine area with a little strap, and then getting some stride characteristics from it. And so saying how you actually running, what are the stride characteristics that being elicited from different sorts of efforts, constant speed efforts and acceleration and deceleration, and are there any changes? What's going on? Are there changes in things like your ground contact time, or how much you're pushing off, or how much what your braking force at the front, or your vertical center of mass oscillations,